male loneliness.
Male loneliness.
Male loneliness.
Male loneliness epidemic.
Completely self-inflicted.
Men are not lonely enough.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I feel so bad for young men trying to date today.
No.
No.
No. No.
They don't want you. They don't want you.
Men are facing a mental health crisis called an epidemic for men, known as male loneliness.
New study explains why single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
I don't know if women have any idea how paralyzing they are to especially young men.
Do you think the male loneliness epidemic is a real thing?
Do you believe in the male loneliness epidemic?
The male loneliness epidemic is hilarious.
It's so sad that so many of these men, they've not had an encouraging bloody word, a real encouraging word in their entire life.
I'm actually surprised more young men aren't defeated.
So you got the nerve to come over and be mad at me because I'm proud and I want to fight and be confident and get my people to be proud and fight.
Everyone's arguing if male loneliness is a myth. Here's the data you can't ignore. The male loneliness epidemic describes the situation for men where they feel like they are left out of dating because they lack options. The options for dating right now should be more than ever. I mean, with everything being globalized, online dating and social media being a thing, shouldn't men have far more options than ever before? I mean, they can literally swipe right on their phones, and someone on the other side of the world can respond back. But hold up, the stats show that men don't have much luck. Men get one match out of 40 likes, whereas women get one match out of 2 likes. This graph shows that women are far more selective, meaning that they are actually much more picky compared to men.
No.
No. No. No.
No.
No.
No.
No. No. No.
Feel bad for all the men out there on dating apps. Damn.
But despite being far more selective and swiping right less, women still match much more frequently and have much more options compared to men.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I feel so bad for young men trying to date today. I talk to so many of you guys. They reach out to me venting. You tell me stories about girls we're talking to ghosting.
Gaslighters will say, get off the dating apps. No wonder you're single. You just don't have the social skills. Just meet people in real life. The worst she can say is no. Cool. At the gym?
Do you need something? Do you need something? Do you need something? Do you need something? Okay, I thought so.
I hate when there's weirdos. It makes me so uncomfortable.
There's mirrors everywhere, so it's like you can easily catch people.
Yet, now your face is plastered all around the internet, even if you haven't done anything wrong. Well, what about on the streets?
Back in the days, most of the time, you would wait for someone to make the first move. But now, all my friends have noticed that the man has stopped making the first move. All my girlfriends are like, they're waiting. And I've asked my dude friends that are single, and they are like, you don't know where a woman's gonna go with that story.
These women are actually undercover police officers trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners. And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed, or shouted at, pulling people over.
Another young woman who wanted to remain anonymous told me about how she felt when she was approached.
Uncomfortable, because you don't know how to just tell him, look, leave me alone, I'm not interested. Actually, because there are girls who are maybe not secure enough to just say no.
In a statement this afternoon, Police Scotland said, this type of predatory behaviour is shameful and unacceptable and will undoubtedly cause significant fear and alarm.
What about work? People used to meet their partners there all the time, right?
Hey Lisa, you look pretty hot today. Maybe we should have lunch sometime.
Uh-oh, that didn't go over well.
Hi.
The eye contact makes her uncomfortable, and authorities are contacted.
In this era of HR, might as well tell them to me to you.
You're fired.
Men are already scared of approaching.
I don't know if women have any idea how paralyzing they are to especially young men. Very large number of my clinical clients, but also young men I've talked to in general, are absolutely terrified of women.
But today, it's far worse. because guys see what happened to other guys who do it.
A guy walks up to a girl very politely and says, "How do you do, ma'am? You know, my name's Rick and couldn't help but notice you shopping at this here bookstore and I live in the area. I'm trying to make friends." How does he know that he's not going to end up with a viral clip, a picture taken, accusing him of being a creep?
They see that men have their lives ruined to simply approaching a girl that they like. Why take that risk? There's all these videos showing that you should quit online dating, which is true if you're average looking. But what's the alternative? People are pretending the solution is to stop online dating when every other method isn't socially acceptable in this day and age. Whether you like it or not, online is the #1 way people meet and find relationships. And that trend will continue to spiral up more and more, considering most people are on their phones, even in public. Especially since COVID, people are more used to doing things online. You can't even go out in public without seeing people like this. "Hey, I really like your style. Is that a 𝙔𝙤𝙪'𝙡𝙀? Excuse me. Hey, I saw you over by the coffee shop and I wanted to introduce myself. My name's, Okay." They're just going to stare at you all weird like you bothered them while you make your approach.
He's wired in. Sorry? He's wired in. Is he?
Even then, she's probably using online dating anyway. So why would she settle for a random stranger she doesn't know when she can get a hot guy she could stalk on Instagram? I know I would if I were a chick. The biggest source of evidence showing the male loneliness epidemic is real is this. And it was published recently. This recent data shows that if you're under 30 and if you're a woman, there's a 34% chance likelihood that you're single. But if you're a man, this jumps up to 63%, almost nearly double of women. So there's almost double the single men as they are single women. It's always been easy for the average woman to get a partner, but it's never been this hard as an average man.
Lots of men have no sexual partners and they have no children. That's not the case with women. Almost all women have one child or more, and it's a rare woman indeed who cannot find a sexual partner.
I mean, it makes sense. What options do guys have nowadays? If you're an average guy, online dating is a dead end, and you can forget about doing social approaches. So online dating has a big part to it. But you can't just blame anyone for this. That's just not a healthy way to go about things. Yes, girls are picky, so they should be, but you can't blame them. They're just simply picking their best option.
And this is something really cool and interesting to know. We diverged from the common ancestor between us and chimpanzees about 6 million years ago. Here's why. Chimpanzee females are non-discriminate maters. They'll mate with any male. Female humans are much different than that. They're picky. They're choosy. It's a big deal. Human females engage in hypergamy. Women make intense demands on men, and it's no wonder. But the thing is that because women engaged in hypergamy, at least in part, we diverged quite rapidly from chimpanzees because the selection pressure that women placed on men developed the entire species.
But we have to address that elephant in the room. If the guys are getting dates, where are they getting their sexual needs from? Pornography and OnlyFans has replaced it. Usage has gone up, and it's much more dangerous than it appears. Because of this, guys don't feel like they need to go out and try to find a partner, because the sexual needs are already being fulfilled, but it's just a quick high with a long-lasting depression. You're not even meeting your basic physiological love and belonging needs in Maslow's hierarchy. Guys end up whacking off, only to feel more of the field, more sad, and much more distant from what they really want. Love. The male loneliness epidemic breeds hate and resentment. If there's a certain group of people who have treated you badly and have constantly rejected you, why wouldn't you hate them? No man is born hating a woman, but from their experiences, they've been bullied, picked on, rejected, and laughed at. From their shoes, it's hard not to feel some resentment. Most men I know have been through some version where they've been embarrassed by girls. And this isn't a woman-only thing. Men do it too. They act like to women, who in turn end up hating men. The media makes it worse. Everyone has been treated horribly in some way or form by the opposite gender, and online it shows. These are composed that men and women fighting for double standards, where they mistake the wrongdoings of one person to an entire gender. This causes both men and women to spiral down further into a subtle hate towards the opposite gender.
When you say disrespectful things about women,
that women don't offer men as much utility as men offer women, that's a fact.
It was a
It was also withheld from
Listen to
the
me.
general population.
Do not cut me off. Do not cut me off. I'm in the middle of speaking.
I don't care if you're in the middle of speaking.
You said.
This also results in the rise of loser influencers. Recently, there have been a lot of guys who have come out with their stories of misfortune with women. These are popular because they're painfully relatable. I mean, with the 63% of single men, no wonder these guys have racked up these. There's a lot of guys who can relate. They're all men who have opted out of society. They see him as, why should I try when I see men who do and get painted as a villain?
This guy's doing everything right, grinding, working hard. He still finds time for the... Like, this is pretty close to like the perfect guy you'd think for this young woman. No, not good enough. I'm actually surprised more young men aren't defeated.
This is kind of the same as the phenomenon happening in Japan, where they are hikikomori, where men are just shut in and they spend their time socially isolated.
Hundreds of thousands of young men who lock themselves away in their bedrooms, sometimes not leaving their homes for decades. They're known as hikikomori.
But what's the alternative? You live a life without meaning.
The alternative to valued responsibility is impulsive, low-class pleasure. That's Pleasure Island. Why lift a load if there's nothing in it for you?
They pushed the narrative that women are like but it's best not to even try it. But no, men should try it.
So you're a young man and all the women are rejecting you. Who's got the problem? It's not all the women. That's
Right.
a bad road to go down. If all the women are rejecting you, it's you. You can't just brush it off as, oh, well, you know, no one likes me, but really I'm okay. It's like, no, wrong. If everyone rejects you, there's probably something wrong. But getting all whiny about it and then getting violent is like, that's just not really very helpful, although it's very common.
Mainstream media hates men in a light that shows patriarchy and thinking men are the oppressors, and men to end up feeling down.
It is completely phallocentric, a stoic patriarchy in which the needs and rights of biological men always take precedence over biological women. Any woman who dares raise objections is hammered with some of the worst misogyny you will ever find.
Men look at it and think, this is ridiculous. I'm not listening to that.
Why lift a load if there's nothing in it for you? That's another thing that we're doing to men that's a very bad idea. You're pathological and oppressive. It's like, fine then, why the hell am I going to play? If that's the situation, if I get no credit for bearing responsibility, you can bloody well be sure I'm not going to bear any. We're so stupid. We're alienating young men. We're telling them that they're patriarchal oppressors and denizens of rape culture and you know, tyrants in waiting.
So instead, because the mainstream media blames them for absolutely no reason, they turn to this content.
Females are barely sentient. When I say barely sentient, is that the female's entire life process from head to toe, she never really thinks for herself. Females don't have independent thought. They don't come up with anything.
Does no always mean no? Yes, no always means no.
Nope, not true.
Did you say the woman?
What?
No, wait. We love women.
What have I done?
It's one extreme to another. This gap is filled by these guys, the hyper-masculines. These guys say the other extreme, but if you're a lonely guy, you can relate much more to what they say. But the thing is, the hyper-masculine content isn't authentic to most guys. Men are naturally like this. It's ridiculous to think that you need to be a hyper-masculine guy to get girls. But in a world with a lack of decent role models, these guys are unfortunately influencing these lost guys. So you end up with much more guys like this.
And me, I'm a high-value man. I'm kind of a big deal at this club. I don't normally pick females like yourself that goes out to the club for male validation. Oh, that's a weird reaction. By that reaction, I can quickly analyze that you actually didn't grow up with a father figure, see what your body count was.
Girls can easily see if you're trying to sound like you have the deep voice, or if you're faking it. This path is also a dead end. So as a guy, you get sucked in. You can't get any dates. You try and ask for help, but all that happens is that you get made fun of and your traumas are laughed at. No one seems to give any help. You're sad. You can't even get love. The biggest consequence of this is mental health.
All these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them. It's really something to see constantly how many people are dying for lack of an encouraging word. It's so sad that so many of these men, they've not had an encouraging bloody word, a real encouraging word in their entire life. It just takes a little bit of encouragement and care so that they're willing to set themselves straight to some degree and start trying. It's just a catastrophe. And to hear the idea that their lives actually matter.
Because of the lack of mental health support for men, I only create a safe space here where if you're a man going through this epidemic, you can talk to me here, feel comfortable, and not feel ashamed. Because this channel is a space where we can acknowledge our problems, talk to one another, and help each other out. So let me know in the comment section of your struggles, and feel free to reach out to me at Big Bro Yoshi if you want to talk.
Was there someone special?
Someone?
A girl,
No, never.
Never. Sorry. So much pain.
The solution is to be a better version of yourself. You always wanted to strive to be 1% better every day. If you're stuck, this clip helped me a lot.
Well, maybe you're leaving out the meaning of life. Here you are, suffering away. What makes it worthwhile? Rights? Responsibility. That's what gives life meaning. It's like lift a load. Then you can tolerate yourself, right? Because look at, you're useless, easily hurt, easily killed. Why should you have any self-respect? Pick something up and carry it. Make it heavy enough so that you can think, yeah, well, useless as I am, at least I could move that from there to there. Well, what's really cool about that is that when I talk to these crowds about this, the men's eyes light up. Young men are so hungry for that, it is unbelievable.
You need to take responsibility. Be the very best in what you do. What you need to do as well is to audit your life. You need to examine every single thing that you do. This includes your work, your studies, your diet, your lifestyle. If you don't go to the gym, simply start by walking in. If you're a bit chubby, look things up. Heck, you don't even need to hire a dietitian. Just ask ChatGPT what to do. If you haven't been looking at fashion, start taking note of what your favorite influencers are wearing and try mimic things so you too can look cool. This isn't an overnight thing, but small steps compound into great results. And this is one of the things that have helped me go from a 25-year-old version to having a pretty successful daily life. Like attracts like. To get out of the male loneliness epidemic, the question shouldn't be, how can I get a girlfriend? The question you should ask is, how can I be the best potential partner? Look, it isn't easy and it takes a very long time, but these steps are what's necessary for you to progress to the next step. You also need to be conscious of what you consume online. There's a huge elephant in the room that isn't even known of. It's the gender wars. They're essentially men and women who dislike each other. They have generalization mindsets where they either think all men are bad or all women are bad. Usually from the men's side, they are composed of people like alpha male influencers or loser influencers. From the women's side, they're usually woke feminist types. Both sides are toxic, and deep down, they're miserable and hurt. Sometimes they aren't overtly obvious.
Me.
A top-tier man is just an average woman.
The bar is so low for dating. In the past 40 years, we went from guys writing love letters to women courting men and doing anything to be in a relationship.
There's no courting. Women have to do a lot. I also think that men probably feel a little bit more entitlement. They think that they can pull any girl. It's okay to have confidence, but if you think that you're really, really hot, I think that really changes your attitude and your interactions with women or with anyone. And I've seen way too many hot and capable, intelligent women with men who look like rats.
Thank you so much. What was your name?
I'm Tiffany.
Over here we have Tiffany, who literally painted a sweeping generalization that a top-tier man is just an average woman. She then goes on to complain about how bad dating is and how women have to do so much in dating. And then she says men are much more entitled and how good women are ruined buttliners who looks like rats. I don't know about you, but regardless of their appearance, we already have a good idea who Tiffany is. She's been through a lot of hurt and trauma with dating, and because of that, she carries a bad energy around her. I'm a strong believer that like attracts like. Not all men are bad, but rather she is attracting those particular men. Good men will come across her and think, ugh, I don't want to be around her. Mainly because she gives off red flags and negativity. Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and assume she never said any of those things when you meet her. Good men will come across her and still leave, because the telltale signs are there when you carry that misery and hatred in you. It would be the same as women meeting a guy and all he says is, oh, all girls are the same. They just sleep around. Back in the day, they used to cook and clean and be more feminine. But that's besides the point. The point is to recognize these traits and behaviors, because these people only bring you down. The point is, don't let bitter people poison you down to their level. When you look at this type of content, it only makes you filled up with hatred and negativity. The best thing to do to get away from the gendered wars is to simply not watch it and cut it out from the things that you watch, because content like this only makes you hate and doesn't do anything productive. Good women and good men do not watch this content. They simply don't have the time or energy to do so. Good people are optimistic and don't dwell on the past. And to attract them, you just do good things and stay away from the drama polluting the dating sphere. When you start to be the very best version of yourself and cut back all the negative content around you, that's when you start to attract positive people around you. So cut out the videos you watch and make this the last video you'll ever watch on the male loneliness epidemic.